Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we're going to do a very special review, impressions of a knife I've had in my collection for a while here. And this is a pretty cool knife. I've kind of wanted to hold off on doing this review until it's been here for a while. It's unfortunately, it's one of those knives I don't carry. And you know me, I don't do Save Queens. So yeah, I don't know how long it's going to stay in the collection, quite frankly. But it's beautiful, and it's amazing, and it's wonderful, and it's simply a stunning knife. And if you're a person who has safe queens that you will never carry and just collect, this is absolutely one of those things that could be that. Or if you do use knives that are a little bit more like this, then this is for you, right? I love everything about it. I love the design. I love everything that Herman has done on this. It is simply outstanding. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this. The name of the knife is the Sting, and it is made by Herman Knives. Herman Knives are the ones who actually made this knife, and the designer is, the people at Herman Knives. I don't know the entire name of Herman, but I know they're the ones that created and designed these knives. I am not a super huge Herman follower, right? Some people are huge and have tons of Herman knives. I don't. They're cool knives. Definitely something that's been a privilege to experience for sure. And I'm glad I did, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful knife. You can just see all the details on this. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. So let's talk a little bit about the handle. So this is titanium, and this is a fat carbon inlays. I believe it's a gold fat carbon inlay that's just beautifully reflected. Looks gorgeous in the sun. And then you have the milling on both sides, the texture, and it follows all the way to the clip. A beautiful clip that's very functional. It's got a little relief, so there's no catching. There's room under there. Beautifully executed. Perfectly put in screws. Look at this. You can see the screws that go through here, come over here as little dots. Just a beautiful aesthetics and so beautifully rounded. Even through here, there's a screw that comes through that keeps that inlay in piece. And you can see if I open that up, you will see that there's a screw in there. Now there's beautiful weight relief going on inside. And inside you can actually see a little bit here where it says, can we get that in there? Let me see if I can focus in a little bit. We get the light on there, yeah. So it says made in Poland. So this is a knife that's not made in the USA. It's made in Poland, but it's I would call it a custom knife. Some people would call it mid-tech. It's like a semi-production kind of custom knife. Just simply everything about it is stunning. Every detail on here is just phenomenal. And the big thing about Herman knives is, what this is, by the way, this is Elmax, and you can see the beautiful Herman logo, and Elmax steel, which they heat treat just fantastically. We can polish this up here a little bit, and so you can see all the beautiful things on here. So get my fingerprints off of that. Just beautiful little touches with the pivot, which is gorgeous, absolutely stunning and gorgeous, right? The inlay is just beautifully done, and it matches. It just flows together. It's just that level of detail that's ridiculous, right? And then the blade itself is a full flat grind that works beautifully. And I got to tell you, this edge, you can see the polished edge. It came in like this, and it's absolutely crazy sharp. So ridiculous. And then here's the liner lock, beautifully executed liner lock. Look at the perfect cutaway. You've got the little jimping on here that's fantastic, easy to access and relieve. Now, it's not a super strong liner lock, but this is what you know about Herman's. They have this kind of a thinner liner lock, and it's what gives it that unique drop action. But listen to it. You can hear the sing. Let me see if I can get it right close to the microphone. You can hear this. You hear that? Let's see if we can do that again. So there's what they call it a Herman sing. It's got that sound that Herman only makes. Beautifully dead centered, by the way. No questions asked right there. Absolutely phenomenal. The blade is beautifully rounded. Everything, look at the sand finish on here. I don't know if you can see that. I just want to show that off. It is just, it's like, I want to say it's like a stone wash in between meets a sandblasted meets I don't know what. It's just amazing. It is a very unique finish that looks stunning on both sides, right? Interesting flipper that works really, really well and drops beautifully. The action, it's got multi-row cage bearings inside, I believe. Never taken this apart, never will. But it is just phenomenally tuned, beautifully tuned. And I believe Herman is known that if you reach out to them, you can, if the tuning is not perfect, you can go back to, reach to them and ship the knife back to Poland, and they'll fix it for you, which I've never taken advantage of, but just kind of good to know. The flipping is just ridiculous. You're never going to fail this. See, can I? No, I can't fail this. The tuning is perfect where it's always popping up. And this is just a very slight pressure, right? But if I want to, I could really actuate it really well, and it locks in place just fantastically. No blade rock, no pivot lash, and the detent, no detent lash, in there beautifully locked in. Look at the back spacer, the little aesthetics with the little angle there, beautifully centered right back there. Everything ties together, beautiful anodization on the blue. And then you've got this grayish, I think it's a light blue, and that's a darker blue, I guess. This is a blue too, which I think is really cool, yeah. And then the hardware, it's just fantastic. So all of this is titanium milled to absolute perfection, right? Everything is executed, everything is flawless together. There's no spaces in the seam. I mean, and it's just fantastic. You know, you can look at that back spacer, just perfect right there, like that. Yeah, the materials are fantastic. The action is great. The opening and closing, it's a flipper only. But you know, if you're gonna do a flipper only, you can take a lesson from Herman. This is how you need to do it, right? They do it well, and they do it outstandingly. Elmax, like I said, it's heat treated beautifully, sharpened, finished fantastically. So everything about this is just simply stunning. So let's go ahead and do some measurements on this. All right, so the knife itself is 3.9 ounces. So 3.9 ounces for the knife. And let's go ahead and do a little bit of measurement in the length of the knife. I can get my ruler over here. Oops. All right, so overall length of the knife from the tip to the back, we're just shy of 8 inches. I want to say 7 7/8 maybe. It's just over 7 3/4. So 7 7/8 I think would be a good measurement for overall length. The handle area for the grip, you have about 4 and I say 1/8 of an inch, because this whole area works really well for the grip. Can't really choke up. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can definitely, you know, I have large hands and meaty fingers, so it's about equal to extra large hands. You definitely have room for extra large, double extra, maybe even triple extra large hands. And it fits beautifully in here. And that clip fits just wonderfully. It's not sharp, it doesn't dig in, it fits just perfectly ergonomically, right? And the action is just fantastic. I wouldn't choke up on that, but you can really get nice and tight and do some cutting. If this is gonna be a user knife, I mean, who knows, maybe you have a crazy great collection, and that's kind of a user knife you use. That's awesome. For some reason, I couldn't do that. Now I do that with other knives, but this one, I just didn't. All right, so the overall cutting length from the tip to the back, we're looking at about 3 1/3 of an inch from the tip to the handle, because some places measure that. But the overall cutting length, we are looking at, I want to say 3 3/8. Yeah, about 3 3/8 of an inch. It's definitely over 3 1/4. So I'll say about 3 3/8. You know, maybe a 3 1/3, right? So that's the overall cutting length. Very cool. All right. So now let me see if I can get this to stand without falling. All right. I'm going to measure. Where's my caliber? What did I do with my caliber? Oh, there it is. Okay. I was like, I just had it. All right. So we'll do a little measurement on the caliber. Let's see, what is the overall blade stock thickness? This is not a thin knife, right? So we're looking at 145 thousandths of an inch. So it's not a thin knife. It's definitely got a very thick, robust blade, but the way they do this flat grind comes down to a beautiful thin edge, super sharp, really, really crazy, ridiculous. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. So what does this knife fall into? It falls into the custom range, the mid-tech range. It's definitely over $600. We're looking at a knife at about $837.50, maybe more, depends on where you get it, right? So about an $850 knife, definitely with all this. And you can get them, just so you know, these knives can range up to the $1,200, $1,500, $3,000, $5,000 with all the different things they can put on here. Just really some fantastic finishes, some incredible details. Some people collect that, and some people are really into that. I like a functional knife. That's just me, you know. It doesn't have to be you, but that's just me, right? Because I like to carry everything I own. I didn't carry this. That's why I'm not going to probably own this much longer. I think I'm going to include it in some sale coming up. All right, so what is the purpose of this? Could you EDC this? Absolutely, you could EDC this. It's very functional EDC. Would I EDC it? I didn't. I've EDC'd other knives that are equivalent to this, but not this one. Would I hard use it? I think Herman could hard use, but I don't think it's, you know, there's some people I've heard just started, and I don't know if this is correct, might have spine whack test one of these guys. Hey, if it's your knife, you do what you want to do. You know, I'm not gonna, whatever. That's your call. It is not something. Let me get that cloth out of the way so it doesn't focus. It's not my cup of tea. I would never do that with a knife of this caliber. I don't think it's ever meant to be that. This is a lighter inset liner lock right here. It's thinner. I don't know if you can see that. It's not meant to be as robust as some, do I have one over here? I don't know. You know, like a frame lock has a much thicker kind of a thing. This is not meant to be like that, right? So I wouldn't do that. It definitely could be used. And what I mean, would I hard use it? No, absolutely not. This is one of those knives I probably would never hard use. Could you? You could. I wouldn't though. Is it a collection piece? Absolutely, it's a collection piece. Now, whether it's a safe queen or whether it's a user collection piece, that's up to you, right? For me, I wanted it to be a collection piece that I use, but I never did. So I have a rule. If I don't use it, you know, it's a catch and release, and I pass it on to someone else who can enjoy it. But I've had the chance to experience it. You know, even if it's just here at my desk, I've had the chance to experience it. Now I know, I understand, I get it, right? Maybe there's a future Herman for me, but right now, you know, it's cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Not maybe this one. There's some other designs. They had a beautiful black DLC. I think it was gorgeous. Absolutely, right? So. Now we're going to talk a little about the ergos and feel, but let's get some nice close-ups. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see the blade there. I'll zoom in a little bit more. So you can see the finish on the blade and that edge. Look at that edge, right? And then here is the handle with all the beautiful milling and the texture. And then you can look inside. You can see some of the weight relief, right? And then we can see the backspacer up here, that beautiful backspacer and the clip. And then you can look in here and see the milling that's done underneath the clip. Look at that. Just really phenomenal how they do that all the way under there, right? And then you can see the back side of the blade where it says Elmax. I think it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. There's a reason why it's called a Sting. This is, I think I said Stinger earlier. Oh my gosh, it's the Sting, the Herman Sting. Oh goodness, if I said Stinger, forgive me. Anyways, I just realized that. So there it is, beautiful, gorgeous. I think it's absolutely stunning knife. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting piece that I've had a chance to hold on to. It definitely is one of those things that I'm going to do a catch and release on. And you know, here's the thing. I like it. I like everything about it. It's made well. There's nothing I could fault it for. Everything is just simply phenomenal. But I don't carry it. And I don't know why I don't carry it. And it happens, right? There are knives that just I don't carry for whatever reason. And this is one of those. And it's going to be released and go on. I want to like it, but you know, it allows me to maybe look at some other knives, right? So there you go. All right, so let's talk about the overall design. The overall design is great. Everything is ergonomic, fits well in the hand. Now, I will tell you, one of my things, it's not as rounded as it could be here. I think, now I know that's part of that crisp Herman design. I get it. I get it's their design. But I would love to see this just a little softer accents on the roundedness there. I know it might take away from the overall look, but to me that would just be just a little more comfortable, make it more of a user. But maybe, you know, maybe that's their thing and they're not going to do it. That's fine, whatever. The opening and closing is ridiculously perfect. Action is gorgeous, smooth, buttery smooth, no issues whatsoever. I have done nothing. I have not taken it apart, not tuned it, nothing. Adjusted any screw on here. Everything's been perfect. It is as I received it, perfect. So that's really something, right? So the fidget factor, it is a flipper only. I can't this detent that is light as it is and has a beautiful sing to it is very strong. You can't middle finger flick anything out. I can't even pull it out. I have to use the flipper, really. It needs that leverage. And that flipper is done well where it has that perfect angle, and I think the way it's working, it looks like it's even, but it just gives that perfect leverage to flip it out, right? And this is one I can do light switch on, or I can do a push button. And now it has a nice cutaway, so you can push down, so you can actually get a little extra oomph, a little extra power on it, right? But I will say the fidget factor on this is going to be, the flipper's done. It's the best way you could possibly do a flipper. So I'm going to give it, it's going to be a 2.5, which is the highest I can give for just a flipper only, nothing else. So it'll round up to a 3, but it's a 2.5 because that's the best you can get as far as I'm concerned. But it'll be a 3. But note it's a 2.5 because it's a max for a flipper only. Now fidgety goodness, as far as it's concerned, this is 100%. This is how you execute a flipper. This is how it should be done. I mean, this is just ridiculously perfect. So yeah, absolutely 100% perfect. So 100% on the fidgety goodness with the 2.5. Overall thoughts, is it recommended? Absolutely, it's recommended. Yeah, I've owned it for a little bit, and I'm only catching release because I don't carry it, but I love everything about it, right? I love everything about it, and I feel like it's something that needs to go on to a better home, somebody who would enjoy it more, right? And I've had the opportunity and the pleasure to handle it for a little bit. Now it goes on, but I absolutely think this is a recommended knife. I think almost probably every Herman is. As long as you like the aesthetic, as long as it appeals to you, Herman is just top-notch quality. It's ridiculous, great stuff. So I do recommend it. I even have an affiliate link down below. So if you ever decide you wanted to buy something directly from Herman, love for you to use the affiliate link so you could, possibly help the channel out. I would love to see that. But this is definitely a recommended 100% knife. I love it. I love it. Again, you have to understand, just because I catch and release and I don't care, it's just the way I do things, right? Some people have safe queens, some people have collection pieces. For me, I own this knife, and then I will, if I don't carry it, and I like to carry everything I own, I do sell it, and that's what I'm going to do. So, and that's the only reason. So I say that because you may see this review down the road, and you may wonder, how do you like your Herman? It may not be in my collection anymore. I may have another one. Who knows? You never know how far down the road you may see this review. But it is my thoughts. It's my genuine experience on it. I love everything about the knife. I think it's great. You just have to ask yourself, what are you looking for? What do you want in a knife? Some people collect these, and they're okay with it just being at their desk and carrying it very, very executive sort of, church kind of date sort of night. For me, yeah, I feel like I don't carry it enough for me to justify to keep it. So that's my thought. But I love it. I recommend it. I think it's great. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, or worthwhile, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the channel really helps out. Helps the channel grow, helps me to produce more content, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. And if, to those of you guys especially out there who watch the reviews, who like the reviews, and who subscribe, I really appreciate you. And if you haven't already, hit that notification button so you can be notified of future content. Love for you to see it. Future stuff like this. And then also to my channel members, a big shout out. I want to say thank you to every one of you guys. You've been there, some of you from the very beginning. It's huge. You allow the channel to do a lot of things. It allows me to, do the giveaways and pay for shipping and a lot of things. And so I'm very appreciative to all of you all. But I know you channel members, this is a special thing. You team up and help the channel, and I want to say thank you to you guys. And if any of you guys have thought, hey, I might want to be a channel member, I have 3 different tiers, some very inexpensive and some, a little nicer. They're not super expensive, but, nicer. There's a link down in the description. I would love to have you. I'd be honored to have you as a channel member. It'd be awesome. And my way to just say thank you to all the channel members, and I say this because some of you guys, like I said, have been here from the beginning, I have a once-a-month giveaway. So just know that every month there'll be a giveaway. And then also, if you're a new channel member or you've been a channel member and you haven't gotten one yet, and you haven't reached out to me, reach out to me. I will send you a sticker. I want to make sure every channel member has a sticker. There's other stuff for the different tiers, so check it out. Love to have you. Hey, and if you haven't already, maybe check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.